is going on, guys? It's KaibaLord, and today I'm not going to show you a deck profile by me, but I do have a special guest who's going to show you his deck profile, and it is the one and only Hardcore Cards. If you don't know who he is, he's one of my really good friends. I met him at locals. He loves this Draco Pendulums deck that he built. I've come up against it, and it is a tough one as it definitely catches you by surprise. If you don't know who Hardcore Cards is, he is on Instagram. He posts daily photos of cards. He does deck profiles and he does pack openings. So definitely give him a like, a follow. I'll leave his links down below. So definitely show your support, and thank you guys for showing your support to my channel and to my IG pages, which I will also leave down below. Thank you guys and enjoy.
Yo, what's good, guys? It's not KaibaLord. However, some of you may recognise me as Turtle from Hardcore Cards on Instagram. If you don't know who we are, definitely check us out. We have a lot of fun on there. We do pack openings, we do deck profiles. We obviously have all the pictures and stuff because that is, after all, what Instagram is all about. But KaibaLord is a really good friend of mine, and he did ask me to do a deck profile for his YouTube channel. So here I am making my YouTube debut with what I would class as my signature deck. So I do play a lot of different deck builds, as you'll see from anyone who's on my Instagram will see. But this one is definitely my signature one. It's the one I have the most fun with. And certainly with Master Rule 5, it got a massive boost this. And that deck profile is Draco Pendulum Magicians. I'm sure you would have read the thumbnail, otherwise you probably wouldn't have clicked on this link. So yeah, it is a bit different to your standard pendulum builds. Don't get me wrong, Endymion is a lot more viable, it's a lot better, but honestly, this catches a lot of people out, and at the end of the day, I really enjoy playing it. It's all about having fun at the end of the day, and yeah, this is what I enjoy. So yeah, sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy the deck profile. So, starting us off with the monsters, we of course have the Draco lineup. So that includes the free Luster, which is definitely the main one, followed by the next biggest one, which is the free Master, and followed by the free Vector. The only one we don't play is Lector Pendulum. I keep toying with the idea, I keep bumping it up to 1 and then taking it back out again, so it's something I'm playing around with. It's definitely there to consider, I have to say, but these are the main ones you need 100%. Obviously 2 of them are vanillas, which we'll get to shortly with another card in the deck, but these are the ones you want to see, especially Luster. Luster is definitely your main one. Obviously, it is a tuner. It does have its restrictions, unfortunately, but it's for what we need, it's perfect. Then we go on to another little engine in the deck, which is, of course, the Dark Worm package, or the Supreme King package. So we play 2 of the Dark Worms and 1 of the Donut. You need to play this. Again, possibly you could bump Dark Worm up to 3 because Pendulum Cool Dark Worm is so good. But the other problem is it's not necessary. So you really want to put Dark Worm in the grave somehow. Of course, Pendulum Cool Dark Worm, for anyone knows, is literally like the God combo. But we can search Dark Worm out now with a card which we'll get to next. So that definitely improves that. Unfortunately, you do need to play the Donut. It can be a bit of a brick if you open it, but it's what you have to play at the end of the day, just to search out with your Dark Worm there. Next, we play possibly the best card in the whole deck, and I'm so happy that we've finally got this in the TCG, and that is, of course, the free Odd Eyes Revolution Dragon. Honestly, I cannot explain how good this card is. You pitch it out of your hand, pay 500, and you can search any Dragon Pendulum monster from your deck to your hand. So yeah, like I said to you earlier, Pendulum Cool Dark Worm just is a lot more consistent now because you can search out your Dark Worms. You search out all your Dracos. I mean, it is just phenomenal. Its scale effect does come up as well. You'd be rather surprised how much that comes up. And another fun fact, there is a point in the combo where you can actually summon it. I haven't done it yet, but honestly, the option's there if you really wanted to. I mean, that'd be pretty fun just to drop on an opponent. But yeah, it's just such a good card. As you can tell, I do love Odd Eyes as well. So Odd Eyes is definitely the archetype which got me into Pendulums in the first place. So yeah, definitely the best card in the deck. Then we go to the last dragon, which is the 1 Aether. So Aether is there to summon from Hieratic Seal. So on your opponent's turn, you get the Hieratic Seal bounce, and then you summon Aether and you get a banish on field. I do also play Sloth, but in the side. So Sloth is there Sloth is really good, but unfortunately, if you do lose the dice roll, end up going second, Sloth is just such a wasted card in your hand, whereas Aether can help you break boards a bit. But saying that, if you know you're going first, and you know you're against a deck which relies purely on the extra deck, Sloth is definitely the go-to. So Sloth will always be in the side deck. They're ready for you. So that is it for the Dragon lineup. Now we go to the Magicians. So starting us off, we have the 2 Magical Abductor. I mean, anyone who plays any kind of Pendulum deck will know Abductor. Get 3 counters on her in the scale and search whatever Pendulum monster you want. And I mean, that's crazy, and that's just so good. It's a level 4 as well, which also is a help as well to the deck. But yeah, I wouldn't want to have 3 though. I have to say, like, I've had hands where I've opened both of them, and it's a bit annoying because normally you'll then find you haven't got any spells to go with the Abductor. So yeah, I wouldn't want to have 3. But that does bring us on to the Pendulum Magician side of the deck. So only a small engine really. We've got the 1 Harmonizing, definitely the best one in the deck. The 1 Purple Poison, the 1 Black Fang, the newest one, which is the Celestial, and the 1 Oath Dragon. So ideally you want Oath and Black Fang in your scales, and then you harmonise and special either one of them 2. Yeah, not much to say. Oath Dragon can recycle your Pendulum Magicians in the scale, and also if they're summoned, you can actually recycle your Odd Eyes Revolution Dragons. And remember, Odd Eyes Revolution isn't once per turn either, so that does help out an awful lot. Black Fang's scale effect does come up an awful lot. It's with a card which we'll get to shortly. Basically, it can pop itself to half an opponent's attack, and then when it's destroyed by battle or card effect, which includes its own, you can then summon a Dark Spellcaster from the grave. So yeah, we'll get to that shortly, but it's so good. And Purple Poison, I love Purple Poison. I swear, if I'm ever playing a Pendulum Magician package, I will never drop Purple Poison. I love it. And that does bring us on to the non-pendulum. So starting us off, we do have Rescue Rabbit. So Rescue Rabbit, it banishes for cost, and you can special summon 2 either Vector or 2 Master, which is the 2 vanilla Dracos. Don't get me wrong, it can be a bit of a problem if it gets impermed, veiled, or ashed, or something like that. But at the end of the day, it is a Pendulum deck, so we're mostly relying on our special summons rather than normal summons. So it's not too bad, and if it goes through, you're in a really good spot then. So yeah, free Rescue Rabbit. And then, of course, we've got the Red Eyes and the Dark Magician. Of course, we are playing the Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Unfortunately, it's a case of playing fire with fire. Because Dragoon is so good, and a lot of different decks are running Dragoon at the minute. And honestly, the best way of getting over Dragoon is a Dragoon. So, yeah, you have to play it. It does brick sometimes, though. I have to say, like, it is a massive risk playing these 2 cards with the Red Eyes Fusion, because the amount of times I open at least one of them is just a real pain. But this is what I was talking about with Black Fang earlier. So Black Fang, if they do get rid of your Red Eyes Dragoon, you can use Black Fang in scale, halve an opponent's monster, pop this, special summon out Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, and okay, it doesn't get its pop effects, but it's still an extra negate which you've summoned from the graveyard. So yeah, really good. I have also trolled my opponent before and actually special summoned the Dark Magician just so I could attack the game with Dark Magician. Everyone knows the Yu-Gi-Oh advert, but yeah, that has happened to me a few times. I just can't help myself. If I know that I've got the opportunity there, I just have to take it. But that is it for the monster lineup, so bear with us a second while we'll get ready for the spells. Right then, so for the spells, starting us off, we have, of course, triple Duelist Alliance with the double Pendulum Call. So Duelist Alliance is absolutely insane in this deck because not only can it search your Pendulum Call, it can also search any of your Dracos. Because all the Dracos have Pendulum in their name, it means they can be searched with Duelist Alliance, which is just absolutely ridiculous. It is a bit of a brick if you draw 2, but honestly, you can just search your Pendulum Call and then use Pendulum Call, ditch the other copy, and away you go. As if, of course, you haven't opened Dark Worm, because, yeah, Pendulum Call Dark Worm is the god combo. Then we come to possibly the most important spell in the deck, and that is the triple Dragon Shrine with the 1 Foolish. So it's really important that you get a Draco Slayer to the grave. So Normally it'd be a master because there's a lot more ways to get this to grave than there is the luster. So you'd activate Dragon Shrine, send the master, and because it's a vanilla, it means you can then follow it up with Dark Worm, and then obviously Dark Worm's in your grave and that's where it wants to be, and then you get your play started. So yeah, apps really, really important. Like I said, there is other ways to get master to the grave, so if you open the Foolish Burial, at least you can send the Dark Worm still. Then it is a 42 card deck, and this is the reason why. This is something I teched in and it's been working really well, and that is double Painful Decision. So Painful Decision is effectively a searcher for vanilla monsters, and it's another way of getting your master pendulum to grave. So you can use Painful Decision, ditch the master, and it searches the master directly from the deck as well. So it deck fins you a bit and gets your master where you need it, where it needs to be for later on in the combo, and it searches as well. So yeah, wouldn't want to play 3, but certainly at 2 is perfect. Then we come on to the one-offs. So starting us off, we have Draco Face Off, which is unbelievably sacky if you open it, because it is absolutely busted. Having said that, I say it's busted. In the OCG it is at 3 and it's not doing a thing, so who knows, it may well come back to 3 in the TCG. But for those who don't know, you take a Draco Slayer and a Draco Overlord from deck to hand. Your opponent picks one of them at random for you to either special summon or to place in your scale, and the other one goes straight to the extra deck. So yeah, absolutely broken really, and like I said, it's a really sacky one-off, so if you open it, you're laughing really. Then we've got the one Scarus. So Scarus is effectively the 4th copy of Otto's Revolution Dragon. And not only that, you can use it to pop your own scales to fix your scales. So like I said, ideally you probably want Oath Dragon and Black Fang in your scales. But because you've got Abductor in there as well, and Abductor's obviously a low scale just like Oath. So you can use Scarus to pop your own Abductor and put the Oath in there. So yeah, away you go from that. I've also had it, because we don't play any spell trap removal in the main, I've set up my board, and then of course my opponent then Mystic Minds me with no monsters on field, of course. So the only way I've been able to get rid of that Mystic Mind is linking all my stuff away into a Link 4, then popping my own Link 4 with Scarus, so we're on a clear playing field, so Mystic Mind pops itself. It's a real pain, but unfortunately sometimes you just got to do what you got to do, and yeah, that's the only way I've been able to do it. Then we do come to the last card in the deck, and the biggest brick in the whole deck, and that is of course the Red Eyes Fusion. Unfortunately, Red Eyes Fusion is, you need to play it because of Dragoon, but unfortunately it is just such a brick. Sorry if you can hear someone in the background, guys. I do live on an Air Force base, and so consequently there is Air Force planes fly over, so there might be a couple, so apologise for that. They are rather noisy. But yeah, anyway, back to Red Eyes Fusion. You need to play it. If you want to play the crazy good card, which is Dark Dragoon, you have to play the bricks that go with it. And unfortunately, Red Eyes Fusion is the biggest one of them all. If you open Dark Magician or Red Eyes, you can kind of play through it. It's okay. It's a bit of a pain, but you can play through it. But if you open the Red Eyes Fusion, it's just awful. Like, the problem is Verte can only send the fusion from deck to grave, so if it's in your hand, it's useless. Yeah, it's real. I mean, to be fair, it needs the restriction with a card like Dragoon out, but yeah, it is annoying. I have actually been working on a build though, where I've taken out the Dragoon package and actually put in the Buster Lock. So if that's something you want to see, if this video gets lots of likes, views, etc., I'm sure KaibaLord will let me know, and yeah, I'm more than happy to record you another deck profile of the Buster Lock deck. It's changed the deck a little bit. But then, like I said, I'm still working on it, so we'll have to see how different it really is. But yeah, that is it for the main deck, guys. So now we're on to the extra deck. So starting us off for the extra deck, we have, of course, the Erratic Seal, the Verte, the Link Spider, the Pisty, Boral Sword, Appaloosa, Skuldred, and Nightmare Unicorn. So these are the links. Erratic Seal is what you'd go into first. You need to get that out as quickly as possible, and obviously make sure you have it in your extra monster zone, because otherwise its effect won't work. Verte is obviously there for Dragoon. Link Spider, because we do play vanillas, it does come up an awful lot, and Verte does require effect monsters as well. So Occasionally you have to link one of them vanillas away for a link spider, just so you got the materials needed for Verte. Then Pisty, no LP, but Pisty is so good. Pisty can recycle your Ignista from the graveyard, and because Ignista isn't once per turn, or not a hard once per turn, shall I say, recycle from the grave and use this effect again. I mean, that's just broken. Borosword, obviously Borosword's Borosword for the OTKs. Appaloosa, really good arrows as well as being obviously a fantastic monster negate. Then Saruja, obviously the draw 4 in Yu-Gi-Oh! Anyone knows is absolutely broken. And then of course Nightmare Unicorn, which is just a nice easy bounce. I have also had it where I've been able to play, well, I say play through Nibiru, I can't kind of play through Nibiru. Nibiru does stop this deck in its tracks rather well. Unfortunately, there's no way we can get like an Appaloosa out before our 5th summon. So what would normally happen, they would usually Nibiru you on, say, your Pendulum summon. That's usually what happens. So then you'd link the Nibiru token away with Link Spider, and because Hieratic Seal is hopefully be on your field, because Hieratic Seal has been tributed, you can then special summon a dragon from the deck. So that means you've got two materials ready for Verte, so at least you can get a Dragoon onto field. Well, that's the idea anyway. That is the plan. But so it's a kind of plan through Nibiru, but obviously it is only ending on a Dragoon. But yeah, that is it for the Link monsters. Not much else to say about them. The extract is super tight, but I have to say, if you're going to take out anything, it'd probably be a Nightmare Unicorn. And I have to say, I've been half tempted to put in another Link Spider, because it is really good in this. As you saw earlier, just the one Synchro, Ignista. Absolutely love this card. Probably my favourite Synchro there is. Like I said, it's not hard once per turn, so if you can get it back from the grave multiple times, you can get its effect multiple times as well. And this is where I mean from earlier when I said about Olo's Revolution's scale effect coming up. Olo's Revolution scale effect can pop itself to special summon a dragon from the graveyard. So again, it's just another way of getting Ignista back. Then it comes to the fusions. So we've got the one Dynastor, and of course Dark Dragoon himself. Dynastor is why we need to get a Master Pendulum to the grave, because it can special summon a Draco Slayer from the grave, and it just extends your combo further into your ideal end board. So while we're on to the end board, I will tell you the ideal end board is Hieratic Seal, you'll have Verte, you'll have Dragoon, and you'll have Harbinger. And then not only that, you'll sometimes also have Magister on field as well, depending on how much you've managed to extend. So that is it for the fusions. Now for the XEs, and like I said, as you just saw, we've got Magister there, we've got Baguska, we've got Dweller, and of course Harbinger. So Magister is so good. On end phase, you can search whatever Pendulum monster you want, which is super relevant, especially when you're most of the time with Pendulums, you are literally throwing out your whole hand. So there's usually nothing much left in your hand. So Magister, that search at the end is really important to give you the fuel for the discard for Dragoon. Baguska's there in case you brick. Doesn't happen often, but you do have times where you do brick, and all you can do is really end like on a Baguska and a Dweller. Obviously, Dweller can win games on its own, especially against specific decks. And Baguska is just a real pain to get over. So yeah, that's that. And then Harbinger. Harbinger is so good because Ignista and Dynastor are both level 8s. We can then go into Harbinger. And if we was playing Sloth in the deck, because Hieratic Seal, whatever it summons, has 0 attack and defense, they can just attack over the Sloth. But if you've got the Harbinger on the field, you can redirect the attack onto Harbinger, which then protects your Sloth, which, yeah, so it's just not easy for him to get over. Yeah, not much else to say with that. It's really good. But that is it for the deck profile though, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Obviously it was my YouTube debut, so I hope I haven't messed up too much. But yeah, let us know in the comments whether you would like to see the Buster Lock deck, and I'm sure KaibaLord will let me know, and I can definitely get that set for you. But anyway, until next time, guys, we'll see you again.